So good morning, everybody. For those of you that are on here and were able to figure out the time change, I'm so happy that you made it. And I just want to start off. I haven't gotten my happiness from Live Happy yet, but I wanted to start off with my gratitude and happiness today. That it's going to be a great day. I'm excited for the day. I'm going to have a very busy day, and tonight I'm going to play tennis. And I had a very nice weekend, and I couldn't be happier and more grateful. And I hope you are too. I love this picture because it's all of us putting our hands around this very, very big smile to start our day. So I'm starting off with today. I'm sharing some intel of just some thoughts that I had over the weekend. I was at a few different events, listening to some speakers. And, it really was mostly about fear. And so anyway, I give this to you. To solve any problem, here are 3 questions to ask yourself. First, what can I do? Second, what can I read? And third, who can I ask? And I think that in any kind of an issue that comes up is actually pretty good advice. And we have a lot of people around us to help us if we need to ask questions, which I think is always a very important thing. I always tell my kids when they're having any kind of an issue and they're trying to solve it, I always say, take the 24-hour rule and really, look at all the aspects of what you're trying to do and see how you can discover ways of solving that problem. And then, ask the people that you are, that are your mentors, that are people that you trust. Okay, so this weekend, I was at a couple of different things, and we talked, I was listening to a speaker talk about fear. And fear is a very, very interesting dynamic, because a lot of times we don't even know what keeps us from doing things, but it actually is an underlying kind of feeling. It's a fearful feeling that we're not going to do we're not going to do good, or somebody's going to say no, or whatever we try to achieve, we're going to fail. And we may not even address it to our friends or our family, but in our mind, we may stop ourselves from doing something out of some sort of fear that we feel inside of us. So I was reading a little bit about it as well, and I was looking at myself, and part of what fear does to us without us even knowing it, it kind of ruins our productivity. It destroys our dreams. It robs us of our joy. And these are things, you guys, that in just life can really be detrimental. And I know we all know this, but I thought it would be a good topic because in today's world, there's a lot of things that hit us that can create fear in us. Commercials, the news, other people, just coming in contact with somebody and somebody telling them about a family issue or a problem or medical or anything, and it just creates anxiety and fear in us. And it can keep us from doing the things that we're most passionate about, because we don't want to, step in that water. We don't want to go to that place, And so every entrepreneur deals with the fear of failure. Every entrepreneur has the reservation of, oh my gosh, if I do this, is that going to happen? It damages so much in our life, and it's the people that accept that fear is going to come in that are able to not only address it head on, but are able to say to themselves, I know that fear is here, and I know that this is what it's doing, and so this is what I'm going to do to help myself to combat it. So, of course, courage is the resistance to fear, and if you can master fear, and accept fear, you can deal with fear and know that you're going to fail, but how great it is to be able to fail. And so readjusting your view of failure and putting that into perspective, you become actually closer to success. And that's the thing that we all need to wrap ourselves around. So no matter what it is that's keeping us from doing the things that we're most passionate about, or doing the things that we know sets us up to perhaps get a no, or perhaps deal with stuff that we're not really interested in hearing. And so we decide, well, I'm not going to go in that direction because I don't want to be, I don't want to be in that, I don't want to feel that way because of somebody. And I can tell you from an example, in business, there's a lady that, for the last, 15 or 20 years that I've been in my valley where I live, who is just incredibly negative. And she's so negative that actually people all know that she's negative, but somehow or another she's involved in different charities, and she shows up to things. They sort of accept her behavior in a way. And I have made it a point to stay away from her because she has directed some of that negativity towards me for no reason. No, and I recently went to a couple of my friends that are friendly with her, and I've said, I am really on a fact-finding mission on myself in terms of business and relationships, and you're my good friend, and I just want to know, is there anything about me, and I really want you to be honest, is there anything about me that intimidates you, or that you feel in any way uncomfortable, or that you feel like I'm in any way, shape, or form doing anything that bothers you? I'm really trying to work on myself. And I've done this with a couple of my really good friends that I feel safe with. And, this woman has come up twice in this circle of friends that she has been she's the only person that they could think of that has talked negatively about me in a way that doesn't make sense to them or doesn't make sense to me. But still in all, it doesn't feel good, right? So I've stayed away from her for years because I know that she's very, very negative, and I don't like it. But my goal now is to actually hit this head on. And I am going to sit down with her, and I'm going to find out what exactly is the issue and why, and how we can move forward with it. Because I think that that's been kind of a fear of mine, and that fear has really triggered me to stay away from things, stay away from certain activities that she may be involved in, that I just don't want to deal with that kind of person. So anyway, it was an example for me to kind of look at myself and to see. So when we fear failure, we are at a crucial point of development, and that's kind of where I'm at with that situation. And there are other situations as well, but that was an example that I wanted to share with you. So the word no does not mean that you fail. You are not failing. You're learning, and you're growing, and you're succeeding. And I think that is something that we all need to master. And this mastermind is filled with people who are constantly working on themselves and working towards their goals and working towards achieving things that may or may not be as comfortable as they've always wanted them to be. And I think when you can master the word no, you can master your fears, you can understand that your fears are going to trickle in and out of your life on a daily basis. But if you know the feeling, you see it coming, you're able to utilize tools to be able to master those fears. And by the way, I'm almost to the point, sometimes when I have fear of things that I just go, okay, I'm going to have a day where I'm not feeling great about something, and I'm going to have anxiety about it, and I'm going to know that this is all about fear. And I just have to now start giving myself the strength and the tools to get past it. I'm going to give myself a pass today, and I'm going to know that this is what's happening, and this is why I'm not as productive, because I'm feeling fearful. And, another really big example for me, and I only can share the stuff that I've gone through, is that when I retired my company almost 2 years ago, that was my career for almost 35 years. I started when I was 17 years old in the talent agency business. I had worked in that business for many, many years. And the last 20 of those years, I owned my own company. And I had many, many ups and downs in my company. But the last pretty much 7 years after the recession, my company really did well financially. And it was a very successful on paper company, but I had a terrible relationship with my partner. And it was driving me crazy. In fact, every single day I would come home and I would just tell Robert, all I'm doing is just praying that I can get out of this company and out of this business. And it was my own company. I built it from nothing. And pretty much my partner watched television all day and I worked my business. And I'm not saying that to say I had no, I wasn't responsible, but I stayed too long in that relationship. And part of the reason I stayed too long was because I was making money, because I was making a lot of money. And I stayed in the relationship of this partnership because of the money. And, as I have grown over the last 6 or 7 years, in terms of, reading more and being involved in gratitude and happiness, I realized that even though I was making a lot of money, I was really unhappy. And so I made the decision to not be partners anymore with that person and to close my company. He went on to build, he has a new company. He's still in the business. And I retired the business. And now I've started another career alongside with Miriam and doing my real estate, which I'm really happy at. And I love every single day. And even though I was fearful about starting a new chapter in my life because I didn't think people would accept it, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm running into a career where there's a lot of real estate professionals. In fact, there's a lot that I know that I've known for 30 years in the industry. I was fearful, and I didn't think that I could succeed, and I didn't think that people would accept me. And, so I had to deal again with all of that fear. And I used to wake up that first 6 months, I woke up every morning just crying. I just didn't know if I could do it. And the reason why I say this to you is because it's been now almost 2 years since I closed my business. And the way that I felt the first 6 months, where I didn't know if I could do it, if I didn't know if people would accept me, I didn't know if I'd be successful. Here I am 2 years later, and I got my license to do real estate about 4 months ago. And I made the decision to get involved in this industry. And I thought, wow, I've really overcome a lot of my fears, but they were there. They were there every single day. And a lot of people, were not going to accept that change. They were not going to deal with, oh, what's Annie doing, But, I'm doing it every single day. And I have my side gig, Miriam, that I love. And I love the products of Miriam, and I love the people of Miriam, and I love the people that I've met along the way. And so I'm happy. And so I have to give a lot of, attention to that in my life. And so that's where I'm at. And that's where fear has really been a really big part of my growth and development. So, if you suffer ever with fear, just know that it's okay to be fearful. The best part about being fearful is to be able to master getting out of that fearfulness. So anyway, that's our Zoom for today. And I want to thank you very, very much for joining in. I don't know if anybody has any comments or questions on our topic, but of course, as you always know, I love hearing from you guys. And so I'm going to open it up.
Well, if everybody's going to
This is Barbara.
Oh, go ahead, Barbara.
Oh, hi, Randy. This was a great topic today because yesterday at our church we had an event that we've never done before, and people in our church that have businesses or side gigs were invited to have a table at a kind of a fair kind of thing, and there was food, and then we all got to see each other. A lot of them I didn't even know what their businesses were, but and so I was kind of afraid because here I was going to be in front of my peers at church, and some of them know what I do. Very few of them are my clients, and I had this fear that just welled up, and it turned out like way, way better in feelings and everything than I could have even imagined. But I think had I just been on my own, I had one of my team members with me because she goes to the church too. Had I just been on my own, the fear would have just like stopped me from signing up and, having a table there. But kind of doing it together made it possible. And actually doing it was so much fun that I would do it again. I would do it by myself, but it would have been the fear of just, I don't even know what of. I think the fear of me putting myself out there, because I don't, I know those people, like me and everything, but it was just my own fear that was just churning around in my head. So thank you. That's my share of fear today.
Well, and it's a great example. Of course, that is one of the things that I think we all do, and so I applaud you for facing it and moving forward to it, because that's how we start to master it. We have to accept it. That's all. So that's great, Barbara. Anybody else have anything to share?
Yeah, I do. I first of all, I want to say, Annie, thank you for being so transparent, and thank you for always being so intentional about helping us review the things in our lives that are salient and important, because that's what this mastermind is all about. Secondly, I am going to be transparent too. There are some frustrating moments in my life the last few months, and it's not been easy. And fear is the opposite of love. That's the only opposite there is in this universe. And if we can learn to connect ourselves to minutes like this in the morning, and connect ourselves to personal development every day for at least those 10 pages or 15 minutes of listening to something that is edifying and something that is beautiful, even if it's just beautiful music, those things will help us push through these hard times, and things will get better. It's not easy. It's hard. And for you to be transparent and let us know how that felt for you to give up your business and feel the fear. It's important for us to feel it. It's important for us to know what that feels like, and then work through it and allow the love to come in and replace that fear so that we can move forward. So thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for everything you do, because it just makes my day so much brighter.
Well, Randy, thank you for saying that, because I think that creates a lot of strength in our group, that we have all sort of been able to share some of the things that do create fear in our lives. And listen, we could allow it to take us down every single day, but I think coming together is very, very helpful. So anyway.
I just wanted to add, Annie, that I think it was Napoleon Hill who said 95% of what we fear never happens. We're very good at making up all these scenarios in our head. Well, what if she says this? Well, what if he does that? We make all these things up before the event ever happens, don't we? And then you get there, and like Barbara said, she had a wonderful time and she'd do it again. So I think focusing on the positive and happiness and being grateful and trying to stay, like Randy said, here and reading about it and learning about it is so critical, because negativity is where the human mind goes. It's fascinating. And like Anna Camp has said over the years, nobody else pays your bills. Nobody else lives in your shoes. So do what you need to do for your family, and be very, very excited about the gift and the blessing we have to give to somebody else. So just my thoughts.
That's true. And Susie, you bring up a good point. I put this little slide together. I forgot to show you. So look at the people that have done quotes about failure and courage. These are people that have actually had those issues, because you don't come up with these types of statements unless you've gone through, and there's a lot on Facebook. I love reading these quotes because I'm reminded that I'm not alone. Success is not final, failure is not fatal. We learn from failure, not from success, which is very true. All of our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. Most great people have attained their greatest success just one step beyond their greatest failure. The two hardest things to handle in life are failure and success. I mean, this is from people who have, built a long legacy of career of not only success, but many, many failures. So anyway, I really appreciate all your input today. I really, really do, because I think it's so incredibly important for all of us to, share not only our successes, but share our failures and understand that we are not alone by any means. So anyway, anybody else have anything to add?
Annie, I do. It's Lori. I just wanted to be, I am so thankful for this group. I'm so thankful for this topic today. As some of you may remember, I did a Zoom for the group, and I mentioned my son David. Today's journey begins, and I got to see him Friday. We got to spend great time together, and Randy, thank you so much for saying what you did about fear and love, because the mama bear in me wants to just put him in a bubble and keep him safe. But the love in me knows that this is the beginning of an amazing journey for him going into the Navy. And I'm just so thankful for this group this morning, especially every day, but today especially. I'm so grateful for everybody here. And Annie, I treasure you. Thank you so much for everything you do for this group.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And you know what? Let's go out today and face our fears and have success and have some fun. And we'll see each other all on Wednesday. I hope that there's somebody out there on the Zoom that would like to share this week. We have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So let me know, email me or text me or something, and let me know that you'd like to share this week, because I would welcome it, and I know everybody here would welcome it, okay? So thank you so much for joining in, and I hope you have an awesome, awesome, awesome day.
Thank you, Annie. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Annie. Thank you, Aunt Randy.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Annie.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Annie.
Thank you.